Hey, Cowboys Nation. This is Cowboys Wire News, your home for breaking news, smart analysis, rumors, and film room insights. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a snap. Let's talk America's team. The NFL world is absolutely buzzing right now because, yes, it's real. Brandon Aiyuk is officially a Dallas Cowboy. And I know, this is one of those moments that doesn't even feel real at first. Cowboys fans have been begging for a dynamic playmaker opposite CeeDee Lamb for what feels like forever, and now they finally got one. Aiyuk, coming from San Francisco, brings that explosive route running, that smooth acceleration, and that clutch factor that could completely change the Cowboys' offensive ceiling. Jerry Jones pulled the trigger, and let's be honest, this might be the boldest move since the Amari Cooper trade years back. The internet exploded within seconds of the announcement. Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok are flooded with clips of Aiyuk torching defenders in a 49ers jersey, and fans are already imagining him in silver and blue, catching deep balls from Dak Prescott. It's not just a signing, it feels like a statement. Dallas is saying, we're all in. And the rest of the NFC better start paying attention, because this changes everything. Not next year. Not later. Right now. And here's the thing. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Dallas was desperate for a spark after that underwhelming playoff run, and the front office knew they needed someone who could shift the energy immediately. Brandon Aiyuk isn't just a fast receiver, he's a tone setter. The kind of player who brings intensity to every snap, who blocks hard, who celebrates loud, who turns a 10-yard slant into a 50-yard highlight. This move signals that the Cowboys are done playing it safe. They're betting on explosiveness, on chemistry, on creating chaos for opposing defenses. You can almost picture McCarthy scheming new formations right now. Trips left with Aiyuk motioning across, CeeDee in the slot, Pollard out wide. It opens the entire playbook. Dak Prescott, often criticized for inconsistency, suddenly has another elite target who can separate on command. The locker room reportedly erupted when the news broke, with players texting, "Let's go," in all caps. Because deep down, they know what this means. The Cowboys aren't just retooling. They're coming for blood. Now, of course, this move didn't come cheap. Reports suggest Dallas gave up a significant package, likely a first-round pick and a mid-rounder, to bring Aiyuk from San Francisco. But if you think about it, it's the exact kind of gamble that championship teams make. The 49ers were in a tricky spot financially, and the Cowboys swooped in at the perfect time. The front office saw an opening, and they didn't hesitate. Aiyuk's contract extension was looming, and Dallas was ready to pay what San Francisco couldn't. This is the Cowboys flexing their financial muscle, their ambition, and their commitment to winning now. Fans are split, as always. Some love the move, others worry about the draft capital, but that's what makes it exciting. The NFL thrives on these shakeups. And you can't help but feel that when Week 1 kicks off and Aiyuk lines up in that star helmet, all the noise will fade. What'll matter then is how dangerous this offense suddenly looks. The Cowboys' offense has been solid, sure, but not scary. Not the kind that keeps defensive coordinators awake at night. That changes today. Aiyuk brings unpredictability. He runs routes like he's carving air with a blade, breaking ankles and leaving corners guessing. His chemistry with Dak will take time to develop, but once it clicks, it's over. Imagine red zone situations. Lamb on one side, Aiyuk on the other, tight and Ferguson sneaking up the seam. It's pick your poison football, and that's exactly what Dallas has been missing. For years, they've relied too heavily on one receiver, one rhythm, one style. Aiyuk's presence forces defenses to spread thin, to adjust coverage, to open lanes for everyone else. Suddenly, Pollard has more room, the play action hits harder, and Dak's efficiency skyrockets. This isn't just a personnel upgrade, it's a philosophy shift. Aiyuk represents freedom, creative, aggressive, confident football. The kind of football Cowboys fans have been dreaming about since the Romo days. The reactions around the league are fascinating. NFC East rivals are already recalculating their defensive plans. The Eagles' secondary, already dealing with questions, now has to account for two elite wideouts. The Giants, still rebuilding, look even further behind. And Washington, well, they might just start sweating early. But beyond the divisional rivalries, the biggest question now is, can this finally push Dallas over that infamous playoff hump? Because for all their regular season success, the Cowboys have lacked that X factor, when the lights shine brightest. Aiyuk might be that guy, fearless, precise, and built for big moments. Remember that catch against Green Bay in the playoffs? That's the kind of firepower Dallas just bought. And in a league that rewards boldness, the Cowboys are finally acting like contenders again. It's about time. And yet, beneath all the excitement, there's a sense of pressure building. Not just on Aiyuk, but on Dak, on McCarthy, on the entire Cowboys machine. This move raises the bar. Anything less than a deep playoff run will feel like failure. But that's the beauty of it. This isn't a team hiding anymore. They're embracing the expectations. They're saying, let's see what happens when we put all the chips on the table. Aiyuk's addition doesn't just boost the offense. It shifts the entire culture. The swagger, the belief, the electricity, it's all coming back. And if you've followed the Cowboys long enough, you know that when this team smells momentum, they can be unstoppable. Brandon Aiyuk didn't just sign a contract. He signed a challenge. And now the entire NFL has to answer it. Behind the scenes, there's an even bigger story brewing, one about identity, timing, and redemption. Brandon Aiyuk arrives in Dallas not just as a talented receiver, but as a player with something to prove. In San Francisco, despite his success, there was always that shadow, the feeling that he was never the true centerpiece. Now, in Dallas, he has a clean slate. He can be the difference maker, the guy who changes how the Cowboys are perceived. This is his chance to step out from behind Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and show he's not just a piece, he's a star. The Cowboys love that mentality. They've always thrived on players who play with a chip on their shoulder, who bring that extra fire. You can sense it already. Aiyuk is hungry, Dallas is hungry, and that's a dangerous combination. The energy in that locker room is going to be different, more focused, more urgent, more defiant. It's the kind of vibe championship teams feed off. And let's not overlook what this means for Dak Prescott. For years, analysts have debated whether Dak can be the guy, whether he can lead the Cowboys back to the Super Bowl. Well, this move removes all excuses. He's got weapons. He's got protection. He's got an elite defense behind him. Now he's got Brandon Aiyuk, a receiver who can create instant separation and turn busted plays into highlight reels. That's what makes this so intriguing. Aiyuk isn't just going to fit into the Cowboys' offense. He's going to reshape it. He thrives on improvisation, on reading defenses mid-route, and that chemistry could unlock a new version of Dak, the fearless one we saw early in his career. If they find that rhythm, this duo could easily become one of the most dangerous in football. Dallas didn't just acquire a player. They might have just unleashed a new era. What makes this rumor so wild is how close it reportedly came to not happening. Sources say the deal nearly fell apart twice, once over compensation and once over contract structure. But Jerry Jones, ever the showman, wasn't going to let this one slip. He reportedly stepped in personally to finalize the deal, wanting to make a statement before the trade deadline. That's vintage Jerry. Big moves, big headlines, big expectations. And this one fits the bill perfectly. You can almost imagine the behind-the-scenes chaos. Late-night calls, negotiations stretching past midnight, agents pushing, coaches waiting. When it finally went through, it felt like a sigh of relief across Cowboys Nation. This wasn't just a trade. It was a signal that Dallas still knows how to swing for the fences. And honestly, that's what makes the Cowboys so magnetic. Love them or hate them, they always make the league more interesting. On the field, Aiyuk's impact will be felt immediately. Expect McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer to design plays specifically for him. Screens, crossers, and deep posts to maximize his speed and after-catch ability. He's not just a deep threat, he's a precision tool. Watch how his presence opens up space for CeeDee Lamb to move freely, how defenses shift their coverage, how the tempo changes. The Cowboys' offense has sometimes been predictable. That's about to end. Aiyuk adds unpredictability, motion, and energy. Every snap becomes a potential explosion. The crowd in AT&T Stadium is going to feel it from the first drive. And for all the criticism Dallas has faced about being stagnant, this one move injects life straight into the heart of their offense. They finally have that modern, dynamic, multi-layered attack fans have been craving. Of course, success won't come without challenges. Chemistry takes time. Learning a new system, new cadence, new timing, it's never instant. There will be growing pains, missed reads, maybe even frustration early on. But that's part of the process. What matters is that Dallas finally has the right ingredients. They've been missing that second spark, that playmaker who forces defenses to make mistakes. Aiyuk's work ethic, his competitive drive, and his understanding of spacing make him ideal for this role. He's the kind of player who turns practice intensity into game dominance. Give it a few weeks, and the results will start showing. The Cowboys know that this isn't about stats, it's about attitude. Aiyuk embodies that edge they've been missing. And once that rhythm clicks, this team will be terrifying. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. In the end, this is about belief. The Cowboys have been chasing that elusive it factor for decades, the one thing that separates contenders from pretenders. Brandon Aiyuk might just be it. He brings youth, swagger, and proven production. He brings urgency. And most of all, he brings hope. The kind of hope that fuels highlight reels, drives fan debates, and fills stadiums. Whether it leads to a Super Bowl or another heartbreak, one thing's for sure. Dallas is back in the spotlight. And with Aiyuk in the mix, they're not just part of the conversation, they might be leading it. This is the spark they've been waiting for. The star on the helmet just got a little brighter. And the NFL? Well, they've been officially put on notice. The ripple effect of Brandon Aiyuk joining the Cowboys is already being felt far beyond Dallas. NFL analysts are rushing to adjust their power rankings, and suddenly, the Cowboys are no longer a maybe, they're a must-watch. This move doesn't just change the offense, it changes perception. For years, critics have said the Cowboys are all talk and no substance. But this kind of acquisition screams intent. Aiyuk is the type of player who transforms expectations overnight. The fans feel it too. Jerseys are flying off shelves, social media clips of his highlights are racking up millions of views, and even former players are jumping on podcasts to call this the best Cowboys move in a decade. There's electricity around this team again, the kind that's been missing since the days of Dez Bryant and Tony Romo. Every NFL season needs a storyline, a team that commands the spotlight, and right now, that's Dallas. The Cowboys just became the league's most intriguing experiment, raw talent meeting massive pressure, led by a receiver ready to prove he's elite. And honestly, that's the perfect storm for football fans everywhere. But beyond all the hype and excitement, there's a quieter truth here. Brandon Aiyuk might be the missing piece that finally unlocks the Cowboys' full potential. The 49ers system taught him discipline, precision, and toughness, and now he brings all that to a team that thrives on emotion and swagger. It's a perfect blend of structure and chaos, talent and attitude. Dallas hasn't had this kind of offensive balance in years, a dynamic duo at receiver, a capable quarterback, and a coaching staff under pressure to deliver. You can feel the anticipation building not just in Texas, but across the entire NFL landscape. Because when the Cowboys are good, the league feels alive. Every highlight, every touchdown, every win becomes a headline. Aiyuk's arrival isn't just about football, it's about momentum, about reawakening a franchise that's been on the edge of greatness for too long. And now, with one bold move, the Cowboys might have just crossed that edge. The season can't come soon enough. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.